You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show, but I digress show with Kip and Cam. If you're easily offended or politically correct, this show is not for you. We will offend, and we do not apologize.
Last one.
Oh, you got it.
It's
all right.
It's silly.
That's okay. It's silly. You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show with Kip and Cam, the I Digress show. This is the last one of the segment. I have a feeling, though, I want to do maybe another one or two tonight before you go, or before I go, or tomorrow. Yeah, anyway, okay. This is the last topic of the day. Cam's going to shoot it to us, and go.
Newspapers. If they disappeared, would anyone notice or care?
Oh, they're still around?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, why
they can't even give them away free at the bins and everything.
So why
you go open them and they're like full.
Okay, this is another thing. Okay, newspapers. Okay, obviously they're gone. They're outdated. They're thing of the past, right? It's the digital age, information, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. That's how you get your info now. Yeah. That's the majority.
And the question is, how do you get news to people that don't care anymore? We're going to talk about selfie sticks, but I mean, when everybody's got a stick up, well, I'm not going to say anything, but when everybody's sticking it out far away, I mean, all they want to do is take pictures of themselves. Who's going to I mean...
I don't have an answer for that because I don't own a selfie stick. I'm not going to. I don't post selfies. I don't take selfies. I abhor pictures of myself.
I actually hate that the word selfie was added into the dictionary.
Is it in the dictionary?
I don't know. It was like the word of the year last year or a couple of years ago. I don't know. I hate that I'm even saying the word. You know,
there's so many selfies taken done. How does anybody get any actual real work done?
They don't actually. Apparently,
does anybody work?
No. It's really devolved into office space.
Well, yeah, because
I've done 15 minutes of actual work.
I mean, let's be honest. Nobody ever really likes to work. I mean, it's rare that I get up and go, I want to go to work today.
No, and usually the people that are workaholics kind of jerks.
I'm guilty of it too, but the other day I noticed this prolifically at work. I round the corner, and everyone is just standing and looking at their phone. The employees,
it's bad. I know, I hate it because I'll be texting or something, then I realize, just like everybody else, and I don't want to be. I want to get rid of my phone, but there's... It's like this break of connection, like I'm not connected to anything. I want to do, like we were talking about in another segment, being real world, right? And that's the, kind of with the newspapers. I don't really like reading newspapers. I don't know if I ever had. I like the news, kind of. I like tactile feel. Like I won't ever be able to do ebooks unless I'm in a bind. I like the tactile feel. I like the trophy on my shelf that I have finished that book and have read it.
Yeah, I mean, there's something like we were talking about before, feeling physical.
Yeah.
Having that physically in your hand, sculpting the clay.
Yeah.
Not that digital claymation, but a real claymation.
Yeah, I mean... it doesn't have its place, but I just...
But I mean, again, we're talking about two different worlds. We're talking about the collective world and the individual world. You can read a newspaper if you want. You can read a book if you want. I mean, until it really comes to where they just don't offer it anymore... then you'll be forced to read the ebook.
Yeah, that's the scarier thing, right? I mean, if newspapers disappeared, would you care or notice?
Here's my take on it. I don't know if I'm primitive or not, but you just kind of got to go with what is in front of you and not worry about it. If there's a paper there, sometimes I look at it, but I don't go out to look for a paper. If the internet crashes tomorrow, it's going to be a real hang-up, but at the same time it won't, because nothing will hinge on having the internet available. So it'll be like
oh, yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, for you, maybe, but as a collective, it'll be pandemonium.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. For me, even though things hinge on the internet, since it's not available, I'll be like, well, okay, well, then I guess I'm going to the creek and I'm going fishing.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. So, yeah, I mean, in only a theoretical sense do I not want the paper to disappear, right? I want the paper to still be there because... that's like the death of something, right? That's the death of a tactile connection to the world. But at the same time, I don't know. Newspapers, we used to deliver them. I wish they didn't exist when we were.
This just goes back to what you want to be real and what you don't want to be real. I mean, how much choice do you have in that? Well, it's July 4th, right? Back in the day, that was only 3% of the people that actually really rebelled against the British.
Yeah.
And we won, right? Now, those people living at that time, most of them were just trying to survive, make some money, grow some crops, or they became a soldier. Yeah. But, I mean, what was real to them? Was it their freedom? Was it their religion? Was it their life, their death? I mean, these are individual experiences that we're trying to collect, to put in a collective. But even that 3%, they were all individual soldiers. They all had, individual hopes and dreams. I mean, what was real to them?
Yeah, it's really hard to say in the hindsight, you know, what's real to them, what's real to us, why did they do it? You know, why does any of us do what we do for a collective, right? Individually, I know why, kind of know why I do something, you know, I want to satisfy an urge, you know, blah, blah, you know, but to collectively get next to somebody, you know, whether you're in service or whatever, and to fight against something, that's hard. I guess it's hard to see what's to believe in, but maybe if they were fighting for their family, I mean, they're fighting for their country. I don't know.
I think that's why it is individual. I think if you want to fight for the Confederate flag, you should be able to, and not have a law smacked on you saying that you can't have it. You know, that's your individual fight. You know, we're talking about being competitive. You know, someone who's really a go-getter. I mean,
people get a fight for, you know, global warming. You know, they get a fight for, I don't know what, polar bears not dying or whatever it is. You know, there's certain. Why is it that some people can fight for one thing, but other people's aren't allowed to?
Well, right. That's the power structure and controls. But I mean, the individual. I mean, what is his urge? I mean, is it to run the 5K?
What is his purpose?
I mean, what is his function in society? I mean, what is his role? I mean, the newspaper is giving us information from somebody who wrote it, right? But it's really not informing us. It's really not giving us any help of the day. To get through my day, I don't need to know what riots occurred, who was murdered, you know. These are things that are almost irrelevant. Some things maybe, but not really.
Yeah, so...
Now the event's over, you know.
So does that mean, like, the death of kind of the local newspaper that's kind of happened is actually bad for us because we don't really know what's happening in our own local thing because we're too worried about the macro aspect of everything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more worried about stubbing my toe getting out of the shower than what's going on in Iraq.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, unless I'm going over there, you know, it's like I can't do anything about it. I don't need to know who was murdered.
I mean, it's like your personal body space, and then your personal room space is what you're most concerned about. Then your house. Then when you're on the street, you know, how far do you really want to think? And maybe that's the problem with this is that we're trying to think of what's happening in, you know, the next state over, the next country over, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we should be isolationists, but at the same time, you know, if we were more concerned with our immediate personage rather than getting up in arms about what Billy Joe Bob did.
Well, it all comes down to the basic fundamental questions that humans have had since the beginning of time. And we'll end it on this. Why are we born? Why are we here? And why do we have to die? I mean, despite whatever time period you're born in, those are the three big questions. Yeah. I mean, if I was born in the Civil War time, who knows what my situation would be? But I was born, I'm alive, and I'm gonna die, and that's kind of sucks. But that's how it is.
And that's the problem, you know. We're all going to die. So why are we doing this petty fighting stuff? Worry about how you're living, so that when you die, you don't have to be whatever happens, either nothing or next existence. You know, that you can say.
Oh, and that is my next topic that I will want to end on by tonight. That is on my list, actually. Is there life after death? Da-da-dum. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get there. We'll find out, and hopefully we didn't digress too much in our lifetime.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show, the I Digress Show with Kip and Cam. It's the 4th of July, 2015. We hope you enjoyed these segments. We'll have a few more coming at you. Of course, you can always look us up on our YouTube page under Bruce and Deuce, and check out all of our other episodes as well.
Like, but don't comment.
You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show, but I Digress Show with Kip and Cam.